Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch the Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something greater inside you as well. You've got Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to master communication, stop caring what other people think, and play to win with Dan Pena and my take on his top 10 rules of success, volume 9, to give you the confidence, motivation, and belief that you need. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, master communications.
If you can't sell your dream, nobody's going to join you. Oprah Winfrey's got a saying about, it's not exactly important where the bus is going, but the people that you have on the bus with you, because you're going to morph, you're going to pivot, which is true. And if you are not enthusiastic, overwhelmingly enthusiastic, that's not been one of my shortcomings. I've always been enthusiastic, and I've had good to great communication skills. And but you don't have, if your communication skills are 5% of mine, you have no problem being a billionaire. 5% of mine. 5%. And that's why I tell you, go to improv, go to Toastmasters, etc. I got an F in public speaking in high school. I got an F in public speaking in university, and I got a D in public speaking the second time in university. But then I went and made 250 speeches, where I told you, and some of you don't believe me, they threw plates at me. They threw dinner rolls at me. But I didn't leave the podium. I emptied out auditoriums. My speaking skills were so poor.
Rule number 2, don't care what others think.
But the world has become sophisticated. Political correctness reigns. And I'm here to tell you, in my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, that political correctness is a manifestation of lack of self-esteem. Because you care about what people say about you. You care about what people think about you. And I don't. And either does Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, Henry Ford the First, and I can go down the list.
Rule number 3, play to win.
I want to open hundreds of salons around the United States, even in Europe. My problem is, how do I find a team I can trust? How do I find a good team? And that's what I'm having a hard time.
You don't find a team by not taking action. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. That's just the way it is. The more you question it, the less you're going to be inclined to pull a trigger. I would rather make a mistake than just think about making a mistake. See, you're so afraid, you're so used to playing not to win and playing not to lose.
Rule number 4, always keep practicing.
Just like the astronauts. The astronauts train for years and years and years before they go up, for every contingency, for every single possibility. And some of the possibilities are 1 in a trillion, but they still train for them. Practice, practice, practice. The people that are doing the most, and Josh alluded to it himself, he practices. It's very easy to get sloppy after you've done a bunch of deals. I practice between 1 and 1.5 hours for this seminar, for every hour before the seminar. So I had in about 70, 80 hours, and the seminar is 50 hours long, 75, 80 hours that I practice. And I know what's on slide 1158. And then, sometimes I skip 20, 30 slides, and I did skip because we had already gone over this stuff last night when I was working. And because we're going to talk about goals now. And if you don't see your vision, Bill Gates, I'm told, although I never asked him, he saw a computer in every house. Okay, and I told you yesterday, he now wishes, he said he put two computers in every house, and most houses do have 2, right? Some have 3, 4, 5. And then he said, I should have said a computer in every house on the entire planet. but they all practiced. There's a slide coming up showing Hitler practicing. When he was practicing before he became chancellor in 1933, I think it was, maybe 32, he had over 1 million pictures taken of him, 1 million. In the right pose, the right this, the right hand gesture, the right, so he could be more effective. He studied great speakers before him. And arguably, Mr. Hitler, even though he was an asshole, he was one of the great orators of all time.
Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
You want people with a like mind and that are better than you, smarter than you, more intelligent than you to get on your bus. But no one does know initially, up front. You have to try. You have to swing at the plate. A kid like you, if you had to keep track of 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, what you do.
Rule number 5, use storytelling.
I think people realize that how great you are as a communicator. And I'm always very shocked at how good you are even as a storyteller, how great your memory is, that you'll be able to tell a story. How do you do that?
Well, I work at it. When I first started, I didn't have any stories.
Yes.
I only had the stories of my mentors.
Yes.
Okay. And so
Jim Newman.
Jim Newman, Costa Gratsos, who was CEO of NASA Shipping, and a guy named Jerry Ormond, who was my mentor in the oil business. And so, but over time, I learned by storying around, meaning people will allow information to resonate into their subconscious when they hear it in a story form. And so when I saw that my mentors used stories and they were pulling stuff from 20, 30 years ago, that resonated with me. And so then I developed my storytelling abilities. And I tried to frame everything I did in a story, and a true story. And now, occasionally I'll miss a date and somebody from the internet will correct me. No, it wasn't in 2001, it was 2002. That's fine. At least I have a backstop.
Yeah.
But I'm only off a year and I've got 1 million stories, so
Yes,
give me a break.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
But I realize how much they work. And now I have stories that I can tell about you.
Yes.
I have stories I can tell about, Brian Rose.
Brian Rose,
I have stories about many, many other successful kids. And that resonates even more with the kids.
Rule number 6, be willing to break some eggs.
As soon as we got tougher, as soon as we got less PC, as soon as we got that we didn't care what they said or thought about us, we got more successful. And we started doing deals. You cannot do, a lot of transactions without hurting feelings. The old saying about to make an omelet, you got to break eggs. And everybody that's ever had an omelet, there's normally some kind of eggshell in it because they can't get all the eggshell out. Collateral damage. Fred Smith, the founder of Federal Express, said, and he's similar background, similar age. He was a young Marine officer. I was a young Army officer. He said when he came back from Vietnam, as soon as he realized his mistakes, the collateral damage of his mistakes did not end up with body bags, meaning dead people, he says the rest was easy. So the worst I was ever going to do is hurt somebody's feelings, make them cry. And he built Federal Express, and he's one of the icons of business who's still running the business.
Rule number 7, be tough.
In theory, we should be able to kill off the Russians easy, but we won't kill off the Russians because they're tough. They're tough. Now, when I went through Ranger School, they hung us from trees and put battery wires on our testicles. There are dozens and hundreds of lawsuits against the federal government because the guys couldn't have kids. They'd stake us out on anthills and pour honey over us and let the ants eat us for 2 or 3 days. This was the training. And now, and you're right, I mean, when the spirit of the bayonet used to be to kill, and you're going through a boot camp, many a broken tooth, cracked jaw, because your drill sergeant hit you in the face with the butt of the rifle. And now you wonder why we're all cunts. That's why I bring my own security. I'm not ignoring you. In Toronto, somebody finally asked me, Why did you bring the cricket bat? Snowflake. I said, because your school told me I should have security, which they did. I'm not going to pay a bunch of goons. No, I can do the same as they can. And I said, and then somebody asked me about 20 minutes, well, what do you do with a cricket bat? I swear to you. And then I jumped down off the stage and I said, because the first 5 or 6 of you aren't going to come at me, even though there's 400 of you, because you don't want to be the first 1, 2, or 3 that I knock their head off. But they had to ask me what I was going to do with a cricket bat. That's where we are.
Rule number 8, don't give in.
Programming yourself and your habits really isn't that difficult. When you understand what makes the synapses fire, it's not that hard. But you're not used to saying no. You're used to saying yes, or not saying anything and giving tacit approval. How many times, for those of you that have a significant other, does your significant other say something you know is just bullshit, that you just give in? Make peace. Why make war, right? I don't fall into that category. And if you're used to saying yes just to not make war, or you're used to giving tacit approval just not to make war at home, that follows you in the rest of your life. That follows you in the rest of your life. And, but once you get used to it, like most spouses, significant others will say, God, he's changed. She's changed. Most will say for the worse until you get traction, till you get momentum. Oh, God, I like the new roles. I like the new this. I like flying first class. That Dan's a genius now. But that takes some time. That takes some time.
Rule number 9, model success.
Success leaves clues. If the super successful people don't hang, don't chill, don't go to Super Bowls and all those things, and the hard asses, okay, but only 98% of the high performers in the world are alpha males. 2% are alpha males, 98% are regular people. Because, for example, Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Warren Buffett all share one attribute. They're introverts.
This are continuum, right?
Correct, yeah. And so, I mean, you don't have to be an alpha male. And back in the day, 100 years ago, and doing research for one of my talks, they had obviously alpha males, but they didn't call them alpha males. They called them oak trees.
Oak trees.
Oak trees, because that was considered the straightest thing in the forest, and it didn't break down, and so they were called oak trees. And but when I tell people about Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all being introverts, because most people are introverts. Most people are pleasers.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is find your drive.
What drives you, Dan?
Well, when I went into coaching 25 and a half years ago, I wanted to change what was called personal development then into true financial coaching stroke mentoring. And I didn't know what I would have to do it, but whatever I've done in my life, I always want to lead. I want to be first. So after about 4 or 5 years, I discovered that even though I'm a good motivational speaker, that's not what I want to do. I want to teach how to create generational wealth, okay? Wealth that normally takes 20 to 25 years to create, which is the definition of a generation, in 3 to 7 years. As we were saying in the car on the way over here, 3 years if you do everything perfectly, which we know nobody does it perfectly. 6 or 7 years for somebody that's good, and 8 to 10 years if you're a real doofus. And I realized the work that it would take, and that I sold all my portfolio, I sold all my assets. Sally and I have been in cash for a long, long time, because I don't want there to be a conflict between me giving the kid advice and my own personal investment strategy. And so as we've continued to develop the templates, the processes, the systems, and the procedures, they're based on success. One success after another success. Last 4 or 5 years, we've produced teenage multimillionaires. Some of the teenage multimillionaires, as you can witness on YouTube, are flying around their own goddamn jet planes now. We've produced the largest deal in recorded history, the $500 billion NEOM, which is the city of the 22nd or 23rd century, with a mentee, Klaus Kleinfeld. So we've got everything from millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions, and even hundreds of billions now. And we have all the systems how to do it. And 99.9% of all the kids that have benefited from QLA, I've never met. I wouldn't know them if they were standing in this room, because we decided almost 10 years ago to give all the product away free. Because I went, as you pointed out, I went from the most expensive product online to free. Because that takes away almost all the excuses of the kids that are just flapping their mouth.
Now I have a special bonus clip from Dan that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. Where does your drive come from? Number 2, who are 3 people whose success you can model this week? And number 3, where do you just need to be tough and not give in? And if you like this video and you're gonna take some action after watching it, give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
I think he may be here, and I don't know, I don't want to embarrass anyone, but is the guy that got kicked out of the last seminar, is he in the room?
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Oh, he's from Brazil.
Okay, then I want to punch somebody else in the face.
Okay. Oh, good point.
Yes, sir.
He knocks at our door at 1:30 in the morning, right? Screaming and yelling. I get up out of bed. Sally gets up out of bed. And I'm going to throw him off the balcony. For those, well, we live on the second floor in the balcony, and Sally, needless to say, I'm not putting words in her mouth. She's sitting right here. We don't need that. And so Sally walks him down the staircase and out the door. He's being a psycho. What I did know is he went into 2 or 3 other rooms to harass people. One of which a good-looking doctor, a lady doctor. 6 grown men were within earshouting, between where you are sitting, Jason, Tom, you. Bedrooms on the same floor. Not one single man, except one, came out to see somebody getting raped, killed, or murdered. One guy who came out to take pictures, the little tried to kill. This is a little skinny about your size. We had 3 big black dudes, brothers. Not a one that's got any testicles. The next day, when the police drug him off, as you see on the internet, he said he was going to cut the eyes out of the black brothers and eat them. Okay? He said, I'm waiting for you at the airport, assholes. I'm going to kill you all. Now, we got 19 people in that seminar room. 3 big black dudes. They were changing their airline tickets so they didn't have to fly out of Edinburgh. As God is my witness. This little shit, I could snap his neck like a pencil. That's why I say, when I say you got no balls anymore, you got no balls anymore. My wife drags the guy down the staircase. And you're all there huddled someplace, putting furniture against the door. When I say you're through as a race, I mean you're fucking through.
If you want more Dan Pena, check out the top 50 rules video I made on him. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Adolf Hitler might be the highest performance guy that ever was born on the planet. When you decide that you really want to invoke permanent change,